what the Church of Scientology is so afraid of.
This is SPTV.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to SPTV. You got Marc Headley and Claire Headley here with you today.
Good evening, everybody. Good to be back.
Yes, it's been a while since we've done a live. We've been traveling. We have so many projects going right now that between work and SPTV and the Aftermath Foundation, we have been crazy busy doing stuff, and we have a ton of updates for you guys on stuff and what's been going on and what we've been finding, and anything. Did I forget anything?
No, we have been busy bees, all by choice, so we're not complaining. Don't get us wrong.
Yes. Let's just see. We'll start out by seeing who's in here tonight. See where, if you're in the chat there, let us know where you're watching from. And we're going to cover some of the updates and stuff that's been happening. Then we're going to do giveaways. We got a ton of people have gone to the Blown for Good shop, link in description, about where the people have been writing in and saying, hey, I want to do a giveaway. I want to, here's something to do a giveaway with. So we've got 3 giveaways. I think we can do tonight based on what's been coming in. Yeah, 3 giveaways. So we'll do one every half hour. And then at the end, after we're done giving you guys the update on what's been going on, we'll do a Q&A. So if you've got questions, get in there. And we'll try to not only do the super chats and the super stickers, we'll try to do some other ones as well. So if you've got questions and if they're good and something we haven't answered, 500 times on other lives, then we'll check it out. We'll click it.
But do the caps on the question first so we can pop it out.
Oh, just say question?
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
it's really
otherwise...
helpful. I've seen that on a bunch of different channels. It started over on Aaron's channel, and it was a brilliant suggestion from a viewer. And before anybody asks, I'm not in a different room, same room, different setup. We're in the midst of changing everything around. So hopefully this is going to work out well.
Yes. We have one more thing to do, and then it'll be Claire's super duper setup for doing these lives and other videos and stuff she does.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I guess the first thing that we're going to talk about is, we've been doing a series on the channel here called The Spy Files. And the Spy Files I had for many years were just a folder that had documents in it that were about me specifically or myself. And like there's another one where Scientology is investigating South Park. And so there's a file that is called BFG, Blown for Good, and Spark, South Park. Now these files are internal documents from Scientology's spy wing, which is called the Office of Special Affairs. And a lot of these documents are being written from somebody in the Office of Special Affairs in Los Angeles, 6331 Hollywood Boulevard. And they're going from that location. They're being sent digitally to someone at the International Scientology headquarters, which is in Gilman Hot Springs, California. And they're being sent to a person called WDC OSA, which at the time, and through a lot of these documents, was Mike Rinder. They're also being sent to the Religious Technology Center, and they're being sent directly to David Miscavige and people that work for David Miscavige. Now, some of the documents are going from OSA to the Int Base. Some of them are going from the WDC OSA to David Miscavige. And some of them are coming from David Miscavige down to someone in Int Management or OSA. And these documents are wild. And the ones I had on me, there was about 30 of. Well, recently I came into possession of thousands of these documents, and they're laid out in a very similar way where there's a folder, and inside that folder are all the documents, all these internal documents going back and forth about that person. You may have seen a video that Aaron did over on his channel about a Scientology actor, a Broadway actor that was involved in the assault of some female minors. We were going through the documents, and I just clicked. I saw the name Barber and I just clicked on it and I said, oh, what's this? I remember that guy. There was something about that guy. And there's all these documents about all the stuff that he's up to. And there's never anywhere in there where they say that he did anything that they would light him up for. And they are gathering intelligence and other evidence of other crimes that are occurring, and they're not telling anybody about it. They're figuring out ways to circumvent those to make it so that the authorities do not find out about those other ones. And they're exploring all of the options on how they can make sure that they don't get any backlash from this actor, the Scientology.
And needless to say, none of these documents were ever supposed to see the light of day in the outside world.
Yeah. And one of the interesting things about this is that, like in the case for this actor, this guy committed crimes. He's in trouble for one of these crimes, and they are gathering up all the evidence of other crimes from him directly, and he's readily admitting these things. To be fair, he does kind of trickle out the information. He doesn't come out with it all at once. It kind of trickles out over the series of many security checks. This is an Scientology interrogation where they put you on the e-meter and they ask you questions about what you've done, what crimes you've committed. And then they use those and they gather those. And in the case of this guy, he's telling them all these things so that they will help him not get in trouble for these things.
Yeah. And wasn't there a note in there too? Like they found evidence that he was committing these crimes, and they then intentionally, like normally when you're getting interrogated, it's being done by the police department in Scientology, so you can, it is reportable. But they intentionally made it so that when he confessed to new crimes, it would be quote unquote under their confidential priest penitent, knowing that he was going to be confessing to crimes. And this was how they were going to justify not reporting it to the authorities.
Yeah. So usually what happens is Scientology gains this intel and they will do it by nefarious means if needed. In this case, he's already sort of in trouble with the law, and he knows that they're going to help him because they don't want any backlash. So he is kind of playing he's playing the game to his advantage, but again, so are they. So they're both on the same side of let's not tell anybody anything that's going on that doesn't need to know about it. Meanwhile, Scientology is putting their top attorneys, the attorneys they pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They're putting multiple attorneys on this to sort it out and use their connection as high caliber attorneys to gain other high caliber attorneys as defense for this person that they know. I mean, they know he's going to get lit up, but depending on how they play it, they can minimize the damage on him and then in return onto them as well. So what we're doing, so that was, I'm just giving you an example of, that was just 5 documents. There's over 5,000 of these documents. There were 5 about that guy. And all 5 of them were insane, obstruction of justice, all kinds of nonsense happening in these. Okay. Yep. So then I actually started deep diving into these documents. There's so many documents. And when I say it's a document, some of these documents are 1 page. One of them's 400 pages. So even though there's 5,000 documents, there might be 30,000 pages of individual stuff that has to be read through. And it's in heavy Scientologies. So they're using Scientology lingo, they're using Scientology abbreviations, they're using or OSA, the spy wing, they're using OSA kind of code to talk about when they talk about special collection. That means when they buy your garbage. When they talk, a lot of the private investigators have code names. So they're like, you know,
Just pause to let those words settle in for a minute. Buy your garbage. It's so insane.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we've lived this crazy life for the last 18 years, so we have endless experience, but you know.
Yeah. Another thing that they have is they have their own travel agency, so that is connected to the whole, any travel agent is able to book on a certain amount of flights or a certain amount of airlines or different countries. They have a system. They can book anything to anywhere on anything. And because they have that access, they can check flights and because they know a person's full name and all their deets, they can, if it just has a first name, last initial, they can track that person. If it's first initial, last name, they can know. So they can figure out who's going where based on that. From all the evidence I can tell from these files, they have somebody that works at Sprint, Verizon, T-Mobile. They have somebody that works at every single phone company. So no matter which service you have, they can buy your phone records.
Yep.
They had all of my phone records, and they had 2 or 3 other people's phone records, and none of us had the same carriers. So somehow they are able to purchase. They had all the phone logs and how they didn't have the actual conversation in all cases. In some cases, the ones I'm talking about right now, they just had who was called and the duration, when the call started, when the call ended, and the duration of the call. In other instances, there are transcripts of wiretapped phone calls in these documents.
Yep.
And some of these documents are so sensitive that I think I'm even hesitant on what to do with them, because people that are now on the outside might get in trouble. Like, there's a lot of nonsense happening in these files. And I'm kind of leaning on the side of just airing them out and seeing where the chips fall. But there's a 100% illegal acts in, I'd say, 75% of the documents, where like crimes are being committed, or they're finding out crimes and then they're covering up crimes, or they're making up things to so like in the case of this one individual, they wrote a program, a detailed step-by-step program on how they're going to destroy this person's life. That's actually the purpose of the program, is to get this guy fired from his job and get all of his connections in his life cut. That's the program, the stated purpose of the program. And then it proceeds to lay out every single step of their operation on how they're going to lie, cheat, and steal to get this guy to lose his job.
Yeah. And we reached out to him. He's like, oh my gosh, yes, I would love to see these documents. Obviously, they failed. They did not destroy his life, but they tried very, very hard to do so.
Yeah. This guy was never a Scientologist.
Yeah.
This guy was somebody who was exposing them. Now, there are also similar programs for people that used to be Scientologists, and how they're going to destroy their lives, and how they're going to use all of the people that person knew in Scientology to tell lies about that person to people now outside of Scientology. These files are insane, and they document Scientology acts that are criminal in nature in overstate lines, in other countries. There's they're about media networks that they're messing with, like ABC, CNN, producers, television personalities, interviewers, and how they're playing all these people against each other so that Scientology doesn't get talked about on these shows. I'd say 75% of the documents are about former Scientologists that they're trying to attack, and the other 25% are directed at people that are exposing Scientology, whether they're journalists or, in the case of this guy, he was a college professor.
He is a college professor.
He still is to this day.
Yeah.
So basically what we're doing now is we're gathering up the they weren't Scientologists in the case of these documents. They're not the most organized as you would expect. So I'm having to kind of like in the course of going through these other documents, I found about another 30 documents about me that weren't in my folder because it wasn't 100% about me. That was just a mention or a paragraph or comments in just a totally different document. Nonetheless, they were pretty significant comments that I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. So we're rounding up the documents about each one of these people, and then we're turning them over to the people that they were about. These people, in most cases, these people may have known that there was some sort of nonsense going on, but this is where it's being dreamt up. And in some cases, there's different iterations of what they're going to do. Like they said, we're going to do this and we're going to lie. We're going to picket his office and we're going to lie to his family and lie to his friends and put a horrible website. And then it'll get an answer saying, oh, you need to like triple your efforts. This is not enough. And then they will expand the program to destroy this person's life. I mean, I don't, it's hard to explain how insane these files are.
Yep, it really is.
Anyway, and there's definitely criminal acts that are happening in here, so basically what I'm doing is I'm going to give these files to people, and I'm just saying I recommend you go through them, and if you get really worked up, I would consult a lawyer, and I would see if there's any legal recourse that you can get from this, because this is definitely not non-profit religious exempt activities,
And for everybody asking in the comments, yes, very definitely, these have been given to the FBI as well.
Yeah, these documents have been turned over to law enforcement, where whenever I find something that looks like it should be something that law enforcement should know about, we're getting them the documents as well.
Yep. And hey, take a moment. Let's say hi to the more than 1,000 people in the chat. Woohoo!
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
We have a ton
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you guys, I don't know how, like Aaron's doing some videos on these. I've sent a bunch of these documents to other SPTV related channels as well, because there's no way that I can do, I can't do 5,000 videos on these files. It would take me the rest of my life to go through these and read them and then explain them to you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out a good place where after I do a video, I could post the original documents and just have them there on a site without having to get like a webmaster involved and all this. So I'm not sure if anybody knows a good way or a good like kind of method for how I could do this. Let me know. I'm willing to take suggestions. And if there's another site that has something similar to this, then maybe we could do that. But I'd say there's 1,000 people that are covered in these documents, like 1,000 different individuals that they either talk about or target for destruction or are trying to help cover up their crimes, or this person stole millions of dollars and they're trying to figure out how to make sure that they're not. I mean, you name it, it's in these files. It's insanity. Yeah, so we're working on that. This is a developing project, because it is it's much bigger than just having a bunch of files. There's no other way to say it. There's a lot of evidence in here. And the other thing about these files is they are in standard Scientology format. So they're sending a document from this place to this place, and they're copying maybe 10 individuals. So if Scientology would be like, oh, we don't have that. It's like, well, but you had 12 different people that had copies. So you're saying you accidentally lost all 12 copies of these documents, and then there's so many, there's no way they could pretend they lost all these files.
Yeah. And by the way, that's why I included reference to all of that in my testimony. The fact that reports of crimes within Scientology go to multiple different locations and all echelons. Like it's not just in one file. So
yeah, that's exactly right. There's a policy letter from L. Ron Hubbard that you're not allowed to destroy these files. Like you're not allowed to destroy files. So if Scientology says they don't have these documents, it's like, that's kind of impossible because you have so many different copies and none of them are supposed to be destroyed. So it's their own policies have made it so they have to document and keep track of all this evidence. So if somebody does show up, there's a good argument that would stand that these documents exist in their files, and these are only for like a few year period.
Right.
So these are like a tiny subsample of, like, let's say 5 or 6 years, and there could be decades of these files. So.
Yeah. And not to mention the fact that lately, the things that have been popping onto our radar.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
my gosh. It's next level.
Yeah.
It's seriously next level. We're not going to talk about it just yet because of things.
Yeah.
We'll just leave that nice big fat mystery sandwich. But it's, I mean, even compared to some of the things we're talking about, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you this. I will give you I did talk about this on a stream I did with Aaron earlier today on Growing Up in Scientology channel. If you're watching this video and you have someone that you are related to or someone that you know about that is in Scientology and is an elder, there is like a 75% chance that they're being abused in Scientology right now, just based off of interactions that we've had with people. They are, if the person, like, say, worked at some company before they joined the Sea Org, and I would preface to say these all of the people that I'm talking about are Sea Organization members that are growing old in Scientology. So they're 60 or older, and they've spent decades dedicated themselves to the Sea Organization, like the paramilitary branch of Scientology. And when they get into these older years, they are sort of putting them out to pasture. If the person has any sort of savings or money that they've inherited or they earned or they got from social, whatever, they're sucking that bone dry, and then they're opening up credit cards in this person's name, and then they are putting them in a very, very low like I don't know even if you could call it a facility, in a substandard living arrangement with many other elderly people, and then they're using their Social Security to cover that, and then pay the minimum balance on all these credit cards. And then as soon as that person passes away, Scientology keeps the $80,000 worth of credit card debt that they rang up for that person, and then that person is done, and then it's over. And so, yeah, they're doing this. And in one case that we know of so far, they actually informed this person's family that the person had passed away
19 years ago.
19 years ago, they had informed the family that this person passed away. And this person is still alive to this day. So we're not exactly sure why that occurred. We suspect it is so if somebody has an elderly family member in Scientology and they have heard that they've passed away, they will no longer check in on them, or they will no longer attempt to communicate with that person. So that person will never be able to tell them that they're being abused or that something. That's the only thing that we can think of in this one case. But what I'm saying is that if you have a family member or you know somebody who is an elderly person to the Scientology, please try to get a hold of them. And if you're
even if you've been told that they died and were never shown evidence of that, I mean, as shocking as it is to say that, that's really the reality that we're trying to communicate. If you are related to somebody in the Sea Organization and you believe that they died with no evidence, please get in touch with us.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to know. And one of the ways that we're finding out about this information is from the people that are watching this channel. There are a lot of Scientologists that watch this channel. There are a lot of people that have relatives that are in Scientology that watch this channel. So we're hoping that even if you're a Scientologist and you're watching this channel and you have a family member in this organization, please try to get a hold of them. This is not about us and us versus them. This is about people that are elderly, are being abused, they're being taken advantage of, and they're literally stealing these people's life savings and running up enormous amount of credit card debt in the name of these people.
And not to mention not giving them proper medical attention, proper health care, proper nutrition, any of that.
Yeah.
And sticking them out somewhere isolated from anybody and everybody that they ever knew. That is abuse in and of itself.
Yeah. So basically, if you have a relative or somebody that was in the Sea Org within Scientology, and you were told that they had passed away, try to see if you can get a death certificate. If you cannot get a death certificate, then I'm pretty sure that they have not passed away or something has happened. You got it. We just found out about this in the last week, and we have informed law enforcement, and we're in touch. That's been taken in the case of this single individual. But if this is one thing that we know, if they have a system like the credit card fraud with the elders, if they have a system, it's happening everywhere. And if they have a system, it's not like it happens once or twice. They have a list of these people and they're checking them off as they do this to them. It's not accidental. It's a system. It's a it's
a pattern of behavior. So there is no such thing of this being an isolated instance, which is why we decided, you know what, let's just put it out there because we know it's not an isolated instance. It never is with them. It never is. OSA will do the things that work for them to accomplish their means and purposes, and they will do it over and over and over again. Yeah.
So on that happy note, you want to move to some questions? I don't know. I mean,
happy Friday, everybody! Thanks for joining us.
There's not much else we can say about that right now because we're actually trying to. I'm trying to say how they do this in Scientology. They say when you're doing an investigation and you see a string that's out of place, you pull that string and you just
until
keep
you've reached the General Sherman tank, quote unquote.
Yeah. So we were doing our thing and we came across this, and the elder abuse is something that we have seen a pattern of. We know of multiple people that this is happening to. Yeah. And in a lot of cases, when we have worked with some of these people that we've found that have been victims, when the lawyer writes the letter to Scientology just sends a check back. They know this might be the one thing that there's no arbitration. There's no, we don't know what happened. There's not really any, the credit cards are being opened, and they are the sole recipients of all of the funds of the credit cards. And it's all documented. And in a lot of cases, these people have their statements, and there's no way to say this is not real. So,
nope.
Yeah.
Nope. It's very, very well documented and very well turned over to authorities. So rest assured, for anyone asking, yes, we are going to keep going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're in this for the long haul.
Yeah, we're documenting all the other nonsense that happens, and that'll be future content.
Yeah.
But we see you, OSA. We feel and see you. Yeah. So just know, we know whenever they start doing jackhole stuff in the background trying to mess with us, we know, like, oh, we're doing it. We're in that. It's like what do they call this stick? It's like a dividing rod. It's an OSA dividing rod. Whenever we start getting nonsense happening, we're like, oh yeah, we're right on the vein. We're right on the gold vein here, babe.
We're hitting the nerve, doing it right.
So, okay, it is 30 minutes. We are at the 30-minute point. So we will transition to Q&A with a giveaway. Let's see here. Do you want to do it, or do we want to just leave it whatever? Because I think we have a book. We have merch. It doesn't really matter. Whatever they want.
Yep. They can say whatever they want, or even we could do a bobblehead, a book, and merch. Those are the 3 options. So.
And when we say merch, we're talking about the Blown for Good store merch.
Yep.
Where Shelly hats, mugs, T-shirts, phone cases.
And by the end of tonight, I will put live our new items for our Theta Potato line.
Theta Potatoes. We got BFG. We got Hail Xenu. We got Xenu as my homeboy.
Yep.
We got Not Today Thetan. There's a lot of merch in there. You guys have been requesting stuff. If anybody says, why are there so many items? We keep getting requests, and in most cases, they're pretty good. So we do it and we put it in there.
Yep.
But get on, if you're on a phone or you're on a computer.
The comments are coming. You going to pick this one?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll pitch it. I'll pick it. I'm going to do a countdown here, and let's see how many people we got. We got 1,300 people in here. That's nice. That's pretty great. We haven't done one of these in a long time.
Considering we've been AWOL for a long time.
Right. Bobble me, pick me. Okay, good. So let's just do a countdown here. This is how I do it. I do a 5, and then I do the one that comes after 5, which is 4. I really milk it here. 3, 2, and a big ol' onesie. Selena Michelle. Merch, please. Selena Michelle, send an email to Claire@blownforgood.com and with a link from the Blown for Good store of what you would like. And Claire, will immediately send you a link to that item. And it ships for free straight to you. Direct. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Do we have any comments? Oh, wow. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of people in here. Thank you again, Selena. Britcom Mom.
Super sticker.
Thank you.
She said in her comment she was just trying to say we do great work. So thank you, Britcom Mom. We appreciate you being here and we appreciate your support.
Thank you. Arnie Van Halen. He was in the chat I did earlier a few hours ago with Aaron, and he was at a Metallica concert, and he got the notification, and he was trying to watch the video at a Metallica concert. I don't understand that, but I would have it on Do Not Disturb, okay, if I was at a Metallica concert. But either way, he can hear me now. Thank you, Arnie. I appreciate it. Bella Alada says, I can't help it. The two of you have my heart, just not the same without you. Well, thank you, Bella. We appreciate it. We didn't go anywhere. We were just doing, we started this YouTube channel as sort of just a test to see if it would be even like at all useful. And it proved to be very useful. And this is sort of our side, like, we have regular full-time jobs, and we have the Aftermath Foundation, and then we have 3 boys, and we do this on top of all those things. And so we don't do that many videos. And when we do, we try to make them decent for you guys. And really, because we were doing so many videos for a while, all these things were happening that we were finding out about, more things that we needed to deal with, to help somebody or to, get them to the next stage of what we're working on with them. And it's just been kind of ballooning out of control. So we've been very, very busy behind the scenes. So Thank you for that, Bella. In my car on I-205, southbound Portland, Oregon, headed home. Okay, Gary, thank you for the update. Oh,
Jackson, yay.
Jackson's got it. Yes, thank you, Jackson. We have, I was watching an SPTV channel the other night that was so entertaining. It was Marilyn Honig, who just started a YouTube channel herself.
Yes.
Denver Steve-O, Clearwater Chad, And one other person, I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. And another SP, very hardcore SPTV fan, that was doing a live, and it was so entertaining. It was like a wrap up show, like a SPTV wrap up show. Like we had gone live, or somebody had gone live, and then they were doing an after show talking about what we talked about on the show, and I was so entertained. But there literally are, I want to say there's like 30 channels now. And the other thing is we've got cooking channels coming. We've got
now we have a craft channel.
Craft channel.
SPTV craft coffee cults and craft channel, folks.
Yeah.
Get
Music,
over there and subscribe.
Art, travel. I mean, we're going to have a whole network. There are people that are going to go travel around to orgs and then send them in the videos like, hey, this is where I am, SPTV rocks or whatever. And we'll have a tour of all of the places these people go for SPTV. Anyway, it is very entertaining.
Yes.
Here's Selena Michelle again. Love my SPTV. Hit the like button. Hi, Osa.
Nice. Thank you, Selena.
Sorry. You get the next one.
All right. I got to get over there. You took me by surprise. You're muted.
It's okay. Love It says, weird question. What happens if two people say they weren't exact same person in past life? Who gets to claim it? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. No, neither of them do.
Yeah.
There were probably like 50 Jesus Christs, 50, or, actually probably more than 50 Quentin Hubbard. Anyway.
There were a lot of people who claimed to be famous people. That was definitely I think that also is a downfall of when the spirits, this people who do seance or people who do readings, when they contact dead people, there's a sort of like, not really a way to get any paperwork on that. So it's just like, you
there's
just
not
make up
much
whatever.
verification.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, so you were Abraham Lincoln. So what was your social security number?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. Sandy Yerkins Power says, question, do you have to shred all your trash now? It's funny, Sandy. Thank you. That's a great question. When you're in Scientology, if you write anything on paper in the C organization at the end base, it has to be shredded. Not only does it have to be shredded, it has to be shredded every single day, because one of your coworkers could be a spy. And if the shredding is left out overnight, they could steal that and turn it over to their law enforcement people that they're spying for or whatever. So all documents in Scientology are shredded every single night. They have in every area. Like I worked in a manufacturing area that made cassettes, and we had buckets and buckets of shredding to do every single night. So anything that's written, all these reports, all this stuff has to be shredded. Okay, but not digital documents. They don't shred those for some reason. I don't know. I don't understand the discrepancy. Probably because L. Ron Hubbard never wrote a policy about digital documents, so there's no policy to shred those.
Yeah.
But in our case, it's not like I'm writing reports back and forth to Claire. So if they want to see my Home Depot receipts, whatever. Or
I do shred documents, but only because I have an accounting firm, and so I do shred all documents relating to
for bookkeeping.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is we have nothing to hide, as evidenced by the fact they've been spying on us for 18 years, and the best they can come up with is that you're a cracker licker, honey.
Well, I guess there's worse things I could be.
Yeah.
They literally have nothing. And even if they did get a hold of our garbage, it's sort of like, there's some what do you call that? What's that? Say that? Some Cinnamon Toast Crunch in there. There's some it's a lot of egg cartons. We eat a lot of eggs in this house. Some ham. Turkey, chicken. I mean, it's like, what are you gonna dig through my garbage? I don't care. I'm not putting I'm not writing up documents and sticking them in there. And if I am, Sorry.
And even when they were buying our garbage, we got kind of a laugh about that because we had a baby in diapers at the time.
We sure did. We had 2. At one point, we had 2, and they were picking that up every week. And we did. To be fair, I mean, I am a kind of a prankster, so there were a few Post-it notes that had phone numbers written on them, put like maybe in or around diapers every once in a while, you know. So just in case it was happening. Yeah, I can't imagine that. Oh, Denver Steve-O, question. May I ask you a question? I have an odd question for you. This is the question form, right? Okay, here's my question. Hi, Claire and Mark. Also, Osa smells like food. Thank you, Denver Steve-O.
Thank you. I got your email, by the way. I will respond.
Oh, wow. Okay, there we go. Here we go. I'm trying to get back into the grooves. Do you think John Satowski, frequent flyer, thank you. Do you think PRs are using drones to follow SPs?
Okay, so I just wanted to say something on this because when we were in LA last week, we heard this crazy story from this guy that we just randomly happened to meet for the first time. And he was telling us that he parked over by the blue buildings and he got out of his car and this drone showed up. And he's never been in Scientology. He was going to a doctor's appointment at the Cedars-Sinai Hospital, right? He just happened to park there. He gets out of his car and out of nowhere, this drone shows up. So like any normal person would, he was like, well, that's weird. So he takes out his phone and he takes a picture. And then he starts walking. And 2 minutes later, a security guard, a Sea Org security guard shows up and says, what were you doing? And he was like, what do you mean? I just parked my car. I'm going to an appointment. He's like, well, why did you take a picture? And the guy was like, because a drone showed up out of nowhere. He's like, well, let me see the picture. And the guy was like, hell no. And but it's just insane. That's what I thought of in response to that question. So who knows? We know they're using drones in PAC at the big blue buildings in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So I guess, I wouldn't put it past them. I'm sure the PIs, I know for a fact that the PIs were using GPS trackers for a while. So like just a little puck, a magnetic puck that you can stick on something, and then it'll just keep track of that thing. And the way they're getting around this, I found this out when I was talking to a PI, is that they have these like fleet management services, which is just a software you get, and you can buy 5 pucks or 10 pucks or 50 pucks or whatever, and you put them on all your UPS truck or your food delivery trucks, and then it keeps track of what their speeds are and where they're going and all that stuff. And you just pull it up in a little software thing, and it says truck 1, truck 2. Well, the private investigators are doing this for SPs like us on SPTV. They stick it on a vehicle, and it's just like, okay, Marc Headley, Claire Headley, Mike Rinder, and they just see where everybody's at. And you say, well, you heard that, Ron Miscavige had one of those on his car. David Miscavige's father, who escaped from Scientology with his wife, and then they proceeded to pay private investigators tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to surveil the father of David Miscavige. And he had one of those trackers on his vehicle. Yep. So, and even some of the private investigators that worked with that guy that was spying on Ron have come out and said, yes, if we're following you and we lose you, then we just call the person with the software, and then they just tell us where you're at, and then we just go to where you're at. So this is we're not like, we have these documents now. There's so many people that can verify and cross-check these things. So in terms of the drones, yes, I would not put that past them for a second. Tarkina Meyer, also a very frequent flyer of the channel. Thank you, Tarkina. You can create a locals page and you can post them there without having the YouTube restrictions. It doesn't have to be a paywall, but that is an option as well. Oh, thank you. That is in turn
about the documents, sharing the
yes,
documents.
About the documents. Very good. Okay, good. Let's write that down. A locals page. I don't know what that means.
Tarkina, would you please email me? We really appreciate you.
Lady Pamela says, question, can you turn them over to the FBI, or would you be afraid they would get lost? Oh no, these have been turned over to the FBI. And that's a really good question. They've been turned over to like a certain FBI office. We might as well turn them over to the offices. We'll look, I'll see, because these things are happening all over the place.
Yeah.
If there's a certain, like maybe if there's a Los Angeles FBI office, I'll turn the Los Angeles related files over to them. If there's a New York office, I'll turn them over to New York. I'll turn them over to all the offices, all the files over to all the offices. I don't know. But that's not a bad question. And also, just so you guys know, I've given these files to multiple other people. So if anything happens to me and the files get lost, there's about 10 other people that have these files now. So the files ain't getting lost.
Yeah, no, really all that's going to happen now is we're making more and more efforts to consolidate and make the information usable and understandable on specific topics, because it's an overwhelming amount of information.
Yes. Carol Barnhart, question, have you talked to Mike? I actually, you know what, Carol, that's a great question. And I did want to figure out a way to talk about this, but I might as well do it now. I did speak with Mike. I spoke with Mike yesterday. Mike is doing amazing compared to how he was doing 2 weeks ago. And he has started on the first stage of his treatment. And they have, to all the people who've donated and to all the people that sent in support and bought merch on Mike Rinder's store and donated through the store and donated through his website, they have secured the funds for the first stage of his treatment. So I think Mike and Christy are going to do a video about it to let people know as soon as Mike is well enough to do that. But yes, it's the treatment that he was recommended is working, and he is not doing as bad as he was 2 weeks ago. I'm not a doctor, so I couldn't tell you, pain level 1. I can't tell you any of that, but he was on. I talked to him on the phone, and he sounded great, and it was like, wow,
what a relief! What
so
a relief!
That
and
is
what
great
an
news.
amazing outpouring of support! Holy moly!
Yeah, and when this is all said and done, and Mike's totally back to battery and everything's awesome, there is some crazy things about this that happen that hopefully they'll be willing to talk about.
Yes.
But yes, thank you for that, Carol. Peggy says, question, looking into your crystal ball, Claire and Mark, do you think it will take 10 years plus for the FBI to connect some of the abuses and start making a dent with prosecutions? I hate to comment on this just because there have been, in the 1970s, the FBI raided Scientology, and that raid resulted in the arrest of 11 Scientology top officials that went to prison for perpetrating the largest infiltration into the United States government in its history. To this day, no one has topped Scientology. Not another country, not a foreign power. Scientology perpetrated the single largest infiltration in the United States government in its history. So that being said, those 11 people went to jail. The Guardian's office, which those people were all part of, was changed. The name was changed. They got rid of the Guardian's office. Yeah, they changed the name to the Office of Special Affairs. And they do the exact same thing that the Guardian's office did. They just use private investigators and lawyers to do the dirty work on the outside, and they just run them. Yep. So it's still going on.
They just do it differently now.
Yeah. The only thing that's different now is that we are, this is the internet. The internet will 100% be the downfall of Scientology. I guarantee you that. Just put a pin in this and save this for a future date. The only way they were getting away with it before was because they could silence people and they could silo the information. So something they did to this person and something they did to this person, they wouldn't be able to talk to each other and compare notes. Now that we are able to do that, we are pretty we're pretty much able to smoke them out a lot of the time. And we're also able to document a lot more things. And because we have platforms like YouTube is an anomaly for Scientology.
Yes,
'Cause
100%.
there's almost nothing they can do about it. And and we are being rewarded for doing it. So, so that doesn't hurt. But at the same time, it is a very effective platform to get this information out to people and to communicate with people that we would otherwise have no access to, like Scientologists that are experiencing some of the things that we're talking about. And when they hear us talking about it, that it was going on 20 years ago, they get a little upset and they tend to give us a ring-a-ling and tell us about more stuff that's going on. So we are, anything that we are hearing about that is illegal, we are giving that information to law enforcement. And we are hearing about record amounts of these things, and we're getting documents. We're getting these knowledge reports, these internal reports they write in Scientology. We're getting all these things that show that Scientology is aware that these things have happened and are either covering it up or keeping it quiet.
Yep.
Clearwater Chad says Marilyn Haunting has a YouTube channel called Marilyn Haunted Coffees, Crafts, and Cults. There you go. We will put a link to that in the description. Please make a note of that, Claire. And we will put a link to Marilyn's channel in the subscription or in the description. We love that there are so many SPTV channels. There's Facebook. There's SPTV Facebook. What's this? Coffee, Crafts, and Cults is a Facebook group with all these crafters in it. And they're making Claire Bears and Theta potatoes and Xenu outfits.
I have
and
a whole collection back there.
It's out of control. Anyway.
See, look, watch.
I think
There's
I saw.
Claire Bear.
Yeah, there she is. I think I saw. Was it a potato? Was it a
Theta potato? Yeah,
no,
you have one down there.
No, I understand that. There was another one.
Oh, no, there was the peeling the onion
there
one.
Was an onion. I was like, people are crafting Scientology themed vegetables.
Yes.
No, it's pretty much out of control.
Yeah. We've gotten really cool bracelets, and I've gotten cracker earrings and cracker necklaces and all kinds of amazing stuff. You got a cracker blanket.
I did. Joanna Hunt says, question, what was the muster like? What was the wildest muster you experienced? I know which one mine is.
Well, you go ahead. I'll think about that because I've been at some crazy ones.
I think I want to say, well, yeah, there's different kinds of crazy too. I think the craziest one was I think it was a list of about 80 to 90 people that were, it was decided, or it had been decided, or it came down from David Miscavige, that these 80 people who'd worked at the international base for decades or 10 years or 20 years or whatever it was, and he had decided that they should be kicked off of the property and just cast away and sent to a Sea Org installation in Los Angeles. And so this list had been being worked over for months and months and months and months. And it was called the offload list. And then one night, I think it was like, hey, did those people get offloaded? He asked a question. And they hadn't been. And so whatever the latest version of that list was, those people were put on some buses and they were gone by morning. They literally, this happened like 11 o'clock at night. They said, hey, did those guys get offloaded? It was a question. He didn't say offload them, don't offload them. He just asked if they had been offloaded by this time. And they put them on a bus and they just drove them off. And then the morning muster, there was 80 people missing. Like they were just gone. And some of them had spouses. Some of them had children or parents or whatever at this place. And they were gone. That was it. It was just they were gone. And the people were like, what? Like their spouses didn't know they were gone. They were like, oh yeah, Bob was gotten up in the middle of the night, but I don't know what happened to him. And yeah, Bob's in LA now and you're never going to see him again.
Yeah.
That was bizarre. Like it was almost.
We lost a few people on what muster is. It's like roll call 3 times a day to account for everybody. And then they do announcements and say things and
it's like a midday meeting, but it's the entire crew of a
Yeah.
of a C organization. So you have breakfast at 8 to 8:30. At 8:30, there's a muster. The reason they have these musters is a head count, because if you're off sleeping somewhere, there's eight hours. We're not going to know where you're at.
Or if you're making a run for it, or
Yeah. So they try to have a muster every 3 or 4 hours. So that's
to make sure everybody is either present or accounted for.
It is scientifically proven in the Sea Org that someone with a 3 to 4 hour head start will be tracked down. The 8-hour head start is where we start to lose people.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Anyway, so they have a muster at 8:30, they have a muster at 12:30, 5:30, and in some cases 11 or 11:30 at night before you secure for the night. So that's what a muster. It's just a meeting of the crew. They do. Each division says all present are accounted for, and if somebody's accounted for, they say this person is with a professional that's emptying the sewer pond or something, and then it just goes through every division of an organization where each division head says all of my crew are present and accounted for.
Yep.
A question on the lighter side, lick any good crackers lately? No, I am on a no cracker diet right now. Since I have been off the crackers, I've been doing much better, and I'm much more regular. And
if anybody would like some crackers, we do have a lot of extras right at the moment. Osa, would you like some crackers? I can send them to you.
Destiny Salazar says, I want a mystery sandwich t-shirt, Claire.
Nice. All right, I'll make
that is a good idea. You got to make some art which has 2 pieces of bread with a mystery in the middle.
Is that even so? I have a question. Is that a Scientology thing or is it a real world thing? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's a Scientology thing.
Okay, so that's why people reacted when I said,
did you say mystery sandwich?
I did, yeah.
Why did you do that? You slipped into your nonsense speak.
Well, that's what happens when we start talking about nonsense is, nonsense language comes into play.
You know what is so funny about that? L. Ron Hubbard, he essentially said, you don't want to tell somebody something without telling them the whole story. Otherwise, you create what's called a mystery sandwich. And then that person will do whatever they can to get to the bottom of that mystery. Yep. And so the ridiculous thing about that statement is Scientology never tells you the whole story. And the only reason that half the Scientologists that are watching this video are watching is because they're finding out about all these mystery sandwiches that they always knew. There was something weird happened with this person or that person or this organization, but they will never be told the truth. So they come here and they find out all these crazy things. Yep. So if you give a hint that there's something else going on, which they do that in Scientology a lot, to be like, oh, wouldn't you like to know what happened yesterday? And I was like, yeah, I would. Well, I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of mystery sandwiches in Scientology that are answered here on Blown for Good TV or blownforgood.com or Blown for Good YouTube or whatever we call this thing, SPTV. Dropbox will work for your files. Secondly, I heard Tony mentioned about an ongoing grand jury investigation into Scientology. Spill the tea. Yeah, no, I'm not. We're not going to talk about anything that's going to threaten or jeopardize anything that's going on. Saying that we reported something to law enforcement, we did. So there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever law enforcement, whatever actions or investigations or whatever they're doing, we're just going to let them do that. That seems to be like the less meddling we need to do. As long as we come across information that may be valuable to law enforcement or government officials or senators or congressmen or whatever, we're going to turn that over. And if they do something, they do something. I'm not going to be everybody's babysitter. So
nope. And neither are we going to sit on our laurels and wait. We're going to keep doing what we're doing.
I'll tell you this. If something happens that's a big deal, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah, so subscribe and hit that bell notification and you will get notified.
If we're allowed to tell you some stuff, we're going to tell you some stuff. And even the fact that I'm telling you about all these spy files and what's inside the files, I mean, that's kind of a big deal. This could be, I think, between the internet, the current and recent abuse of elders and children and people and cover up. Between that
and the organic wave known as SPTV network.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to have a bunch of content.
Oh yeah,
up on these channels over the next 1 to 5 years, I'd say.
Yep. And already for those people asking too, like just the change that has happened in the last 15 years. Like when you first started posting on the internet about Scientology, I'll be honest, I was utterly terrified of what was going to happen. So it's definitely, we are making progress. We just don't know what the end game is. So
yeah,
yep,
we're doing it. It's getting there though. We'll get there. Dean Johnson says, what would happen if someone declared COBNSP and emailed all Scientologists? Is there any way to overthrow him? No, it doesn't work like that. He is the ultimate authority in Scientology. So it would be like, it'd be like some local sheriff trying to impeach the president.
And not to mention the fact he has signed letters of resignation from every single executive in Scientology. So whichever one of them tried, just whip out that letter and boof, they're vaporized.
That's true. Yeah. Justin Craig, aka LRH 2.0, says, Mark, if you need someone with time to comb through these for interesting stuff, my personal life is pretty mundane. That is a joke. Justin Craig, aka LRH 2.0, is in prison, and I'm pretty sure he's not sending us super chats.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, he was kind of like a career criminal type guy, the guy who decided to be L. Ron Hubbard reincarnated, which he calls himself LRH 2.0. Tyler Bennett, question, are there many seniors and facilities together in Los Angeles? I think you mentioned Glendale previously. Yes, that is exactly what they're doing. They have different facilities that they're putting these people in.
And we're also getting more and more reports of different locations where different people are being held. So we're figuring out what to best do.
Yeah. SPT Scott says, scumbags, just when you think it can't get worse. Unbelievable. Yeah, there is a saying with Scientology, whenever you think it's the worst, it gets worse. Whenever you think it's the worst it could possibly be, no, it gets worse. It gets worse. A name, they have abused my family for years. I'm sorry, A name, I believe it. This one
Email me if you need help or if there's something that we can do.
Okay. Leah says, they're lying about elders dying to their families, ? There is proof. The IRS needs to prove it's not a religion. No God anywhere near Scientology. Yeah, this person was told that their family member had passed away in 2004. And that person is alive. We just found out this last week that person is alive. And so what is the deal with that? That is insane. Really is. Destiny Salazar says, you both rock. That is all. Okay. Thank you, Destiny Salazar.
Thank you, Destiny. We always appreciate seeing you here.
Does Scientology do name changes to hide these people? If so, is there a particular publication they use to publish the notices? No, I don't know about any name changes. The person...
Oh, no, they have. They have. Like, Michael Probilski.
Oh, no, not about the elders. I don't know. Yes, they have changed the name of people so that they are harder to find if they do escape or they do something like that. They do. We do know of people that they have done that with. So,
yep.
Colette Millette, there's a special place in hell for these blanks. Yes, there is. Yeah. Thank you for that, Colette.
Yeah.
Purple Groovy says, Claire, where's my book? Did Purple Groovy win something?
Shoot me an email. I'm not sure.
Purple
just shoot
Groovy.
me an email and I'll track it down. I'll send you your tracking.
In the last video we did, we gave something to Purple
I know.
Groovy.
I'm pretty sure I sent it, but also Japan of Green Gables was asking. So just shoot me an email if you haven't received your stuff and I will send you your tracking information. And that way I can make sure I didn't miss anything while we were in LA and so forth.
Okay. Dora Explorer says, Scientology sickens me to my core. Thank goodness you are all not giving up the fight. Freaking law enforcement sickens me as well for not doing a damn thing. Yeah, it is a bit frustrating that, I don't know how to explain it. It's sort of like you think you think everything works the way it does on the TV.
Yeah.
These things take months, if not years, to have anything happen.
Yeah,
so
but the good
it's not
news
like
is-
we just dusted the scene and we've got the prints of all 17 perpetrator. No, it doesn't work
and we
like
busted open the gates and we found the file. And
Yeah.
But the good news is that we, along our path, are getting far better educated on what to tell people to do and how
And
to
who.
document it and where to report it and so on and so forth. So we are learning incredible information that's very, very useful. And that's why we're putting this out there. Like, reach out to
Yeah.
us. We will respond and we will help you.
We've been shooting at this dam
Yeah.
for like 15 years, and we started out with slingshots.
Yeah.
And then we got pellet guns, and we've been hitting this dam with stuff, and it's getting to the point now that we know where the weak points in the dam are, and we also know exactly which ammunition to use in that exact weak spot.
Yeah.
And we're as we do this further, we're finding additional weak spots and additional ammunition.
Yeah. But
if
just
that makes any
know,
sense.
to anybody out there, your voice counts. So if you have family members, you can do something about it, and please do.
Yeah. The other thing is we can help somebody get out if they want out. We can never get them the time back.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are one of these people who wants to get out, or you want to leave, or you want to get your other family member out, it really, the only thing we're wasting right now is time.
Yep.
You can get more money back. You can get a new job. You can do all that in the next chapter, but we can never get you back all the time that's just being burned right now. So if there was one regret I would have, or if there was one thing I'd wished somebody would have told me, 20 years ago, when I was first in at the Sea Org for a year, I wish somebody would have told me then, get out now, so I wouldn't have wasted another 14 years. So anyway, we're trying,
on that
guys.
note, it's time for a giveaway.
You want to do this one?
Yep, sure.
Awesome.
Okay, so just write merch, book, bobblehead, whichever you would like, and comment away, and I will, let me just see here. My computer tends to freeze still when this happens, but hold on. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold on, let me catch one. Boom. Kay
Merch,
Williams.
please.
Merch, please. Awesome.
Good
So Kay
job.
Williams, go to the BFG, the Blown for Good merch store on this YouTube channel. Pick what you would like. And send me a link to that at claire@blownforgood.com, and I will send you the giveaway link. Very easy.
There you go, folks. You seen it here. Miss Kim says, this is what the website would be great for. I love all these new channels. Tried 10 different ways to post the address here. YouTube giving me grief. I'll resend the email later tonight. Thanks, bunches.
Okay.
Yeah, and there is somebody, I don't know where I saw it. I think it was in Facebook somewhere. There is a link. See if you can find it. It's a link to all of the SPTV channels. It's a direct
SPTV directory.
Yes, SPTV directory. I saw that. Somebody
I've
did
seen that somewhere too. I'll try and track it down.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Kim. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm going to be catching up on my email this weekend. So
Yeah,
for anyone saying, "Oh, I emailed you. Did you get it?" I'm sure I did. We've just, Thank you for your patience.
The other thing we were doing is we were doing a new BFG website, but then when we came out with the store sort of replaced like 80% of the website. So we are we still going to do a website?
Yeah, I have to touch base and figure that out. We are, because we're going to make it so that on the Blown for Good website, people can upload pics and send us stuff and things like that.
That's right. So maybe we will put the documents on the Blown for Good website.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that. Or maybe on the Blown for Good website, it'll be a link to like a Dropbox folder that has all of the, that's exactly what we'll do. We'll put a link to them for Dropbox, and then people could just download them and read them at their willy-nilly if they want to go through them. There's a lot of stuff in there. I don't know if we should do that before. Well, we'll figure that heads up on exactly what files we have just yet, until we go through them to see if there's anything in there. And that's a good question. If you're a lawyer or if you're somebody in law enforcement that you'd want to look through these, and you have a way to show us that you are, and you don't work for LAPD, or we might have to do a background check on you to figure out which Scientology.
I'm sure there are some good people in
No,
LAPD.
I know there are.
I would love for them to reach out to us and help us, because
exactly. If you're going to go through these things and see what's legit, what's not legit. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. So, and some of it's very sensitive. A lot of it is very sensitive in nature. So it's personal stuff about people. So it's kind of a weird thing to turn over to somebody, because there's a lot of personal stuff about a lot of people that are out there. It could be kind of used against some of them, if you believe that some of these things are real.
Yep.
Tennessee Treasure Finder says, question, what other habits did you pick up in Scientology that you still have today? I was just talking to somebody about one of these the other day. So embarrassing. When I was in the Sea Organization, for a great deal of time, I was one of very few people who could drive a vehicle on public roads. You have to do a Scientology driving course to be able to drive once you're in the Sea Org. You can't
and it's such a unique name for the course. It's called Car School.
Yeah, it's called Car School. You could have been a truck driver. This is the most ridiculous thing. You could have been a truck driver for 30 years, but once you join the Sea Org, you can't drive unless you do Scientology Car School.
Yeah.
The course that L. Ron Hubbard required that somebody do in order to drive a vehicle, it's ridiculous. Anyway, I was one of the very few people who had done car school that worked in the cinematography division. So I would always be driving a 15-passenger van with all these crew in it, or a big lighting truck with, or some vehicle dually with a trailer on the back. I could drive all these vehicles. Anyway, I would get given cash to buy gas. And if you get given $100 and you turn in a receipt for $97.46, you got to come up with the change when you turn in your accounting, and you got to tape it to these pieces of paper. So I was getting thousands and thousands of dollars of gas money when I was driving and paying for all these giant vehicles to drive all over when we were shooting these internal training films for Scientology. And so whenever I would go to a gas pump, I would always top it to $1. And so if it wasn't going to be full, I would try to stop before it would I would always try to stop at an even 0-0. And this went on for years and years. Anyway, a few years ago, I finally stopped putting in enough gas to get to 0-0. I mean, I haven't been in the Sea Org since 2005, and I've been every vehicle, every time I filled up, I've always got it right to 0-0. And I finally, I want to say about a year or two ago, I was just like, what am I doing? Why is my life being run by this gas pump?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of that I used to do that I still do, or I still did until recently.
Yeah.
What about you? You got to answer something too. I'm not just
talking
about my stupid gas pump OCD.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole quote, Hubbard quote, speed of particle flow alone determines power, unquote. And I don't know. I just have a thing about trying to respond to everything instantly. But I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. It's a really good question.
Yeah. V, super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker, V. SP Cracker Liquor fan. With all the evidence, how on earth does law enforcement justify turning a blind eye? It's a good question, SP Cracker Liquor fan. There's so many moving parts of who's the victim, who's the perpetrator, what county did it happen in? Is it a federal crime? Is it a state crime? When did it happen? What are the statutes of limitations? You almost have to be a judge, a police officer, a lawyer. You have to be all these things to navigate. Well, what's the crime that's been committed here? Who was it committed against? can we talk to that person? Is there any evidence? It's a document that says and almost all these documents are, this is what we plan to do, or this is what we did. And they have the phone, like when you say, here's Marc's phone records for the past 4 months, and then you have all the phone records for the past 4 months. You're like, how is this not something you can get in trouble for? And here's who he talked to on these days, and here's a summary of all the people that it's just like, it is frustrating. How do you go like, no, nothing, nobody? Oh, when did it happen? 2006. You're like, wow. Nina G. Olson says, if somebody claimed they were a garbage collector in a previous life, would the auditor look down on them? No, it doesn't work like that. Like, Scientologists believe that you've been a lawyer, you've been a doctor, you've been a murderer, you've been a murder victim, you've been everything. You've lived millions of lives on other planets and other galaxies and other solar systems. And this is just like a tiny, tiny speck on your, what they call time track. And so it's almost like everybody has done everything, and everybody's been here and done that and done bad things and done good things. Who cares? Like, it's almost like no one cares. That's literally like when you assault somebody, it's like, yeah, whatever. You've been assaulted. You've assaulted people. Whoop-de-doop-de-doo. Like, that's literally how they look at it.
Yeah. They're like, all that matters is the work Scientology is doing now. Everything else is justified, just like in Harry Potter. It's for the greatest good.
Yep. Donna Dwyer says, about the drones, I wondered for a while why you didn't send a drone to where you thought Shelley might be. Oh, somebody has absolutely sent a drone there. Yep. And that is on the SPT. We got to find this directory. The SPTV directory at the I think it's at the bottom. It has the link to the YouTube channel, the guy that has the drone. And this guy has shot amazing drone footage at every single major Scientology facility, or even mostly the secret ones is the ones he's done the best footage of. Yeah. Gina D says there's an SP cooking channel. There is. It's in the works. We're getting some recipes together, but when it's good...
We'll share it. We'll share it when it's good and ready. Yeah. It's coming. It's going to be amazing.
And we've been making the recipes on it. Amazing.
Yeah. To be clear, it's not us, but it's
it's not us, but we've been making every single recipe we've seen on there so far. Yes. Oh, I unchecked a super chat. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know what happened to it. It went into the leaf, and it was before 4:47. See if you can find the one right before 4:47 p.m.
Okay.
Lathanda Grocklinger. I know you've been busy, but I missed you. Much love from Germany. Keep up the great work deconstructing the web of secrets of this disgusting cult. Thank you, Lathanda. Yeah, we're still here. You just don't get to see us all the time. We've been so busy. We've wanted to do lives a bunch of times, but it's just like, we're like at 9:00 at night. I'm like, should we do a video? Like, I'm tired.
I'm exhausted. Yes. I didn't even put makeup on the other day. I was like, oh no, hell no.
Yeah, it just gets
long
days.
I had like 20 hours of phone calls dealing with a certain matter. It was exhausting, and it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, some things we cannot always do that.
Yeah. Amanda Young says, just wanted to say you are all amazing. Receive my copy of Blown for Good this week. Keep up the wonderful work. Much love from Louisiana. Thank you very much, Amanda. We appreciate it. Yeah, we've been getting orders. A lot of good people are coming to the Blown for Good merch store and picking up. You can get a book there. You can get all this Where's Shelley, SPTV merch.
And I'm going to catch up on all our thank you messages right after this.
Yeah, and she get a personal message from Claire. She'll thank you on it. But yeah, we're getting a lot of comments and people coming to the merch store and all that. So thanks a lot. We appreciate all that. Miss Kim says the email I'm sending from is SPTV Networks. Having an SPTV hub for everything will be great. Yes, I think it would be amazing. We're working on it. And when I saw this directory, it was so good too. Yeah. I should have counted how many were in there, but we'll put a link to it in the description.
I think Matt I just Elliott found the one that you missed.
Oh, good. Perfect. Just star it and I'll hit it.
Okay.
Matt, any chance they've infiltrated again, but on a lower scale? Any chance they've infiltrated again, but on a lower scale? Who? Scientology.
Oh, so what
to
I
the
was going to
government.
say on this is, like, for example, we have heard recently that an ex-Sea Org member that we knew is working in a DA's office of a certain state. So we're just kind of going to systematically document these things. And so if you know of a Scientologist working in a high position of authority where damage could be done or crimes could be covered up, then let us know. We'll file that away in a directory and continue to share that with people that need to know.
Yeah, I will say in these documents, because the question is, any chance they've infiltrated again, but on a lower scale?
Yeah.
In these documents, there are many mentions, and it's in the I think it might be in one of those James Barber documents. But they say this lawyer or this individual or whatever this person is that they're in contact with or trying to get in contact with has a good line to the district attorney in this area. So they mention that in a lot of these different documents where, like, if this goes to prosecution, we have somebody there that we can talk to. And and if you think about it, this James Barber guy, he did what he did with a minor, and he got like 38 days in jail or something like that, or whatever the amount was, and some probation. And Scientology knew that something bad was going to happen, but 38 days to me seems like not a lot for what he did, and for what they but also for what they know he did that wasn't known about by the court. So there are a lot of those people mentioned in these documents. Some of the people that are going to get outed in these documents are people that are enabling Scientology for tickets to the John Travolta premiere, or their wife got to go to a party and dance with John Travolta, or they got to get a picture with Tom Cruise, or whatever they're doing, whatever they think is going to happen for them that they're going to benefit. So they'll look the other way when one of these Scientology cases comes across their desk. Yeah. Those people are going to be outed. And there are also some media people that are going to get outed in these documents for playing games and not doing stories about Scientology in the hopes that they might get an interview with David Miscavige at some point. Thank you for that question, Matt. Michael Lake says, longtime viewer, first time chat. Thank you for your incredible work. Serious question. With the internet, how are Scientologists and Sea Org sheltered from the truth? Do they truly not Google stuff? Yes, this is a question that often comes up about Scientology and Scientologists. In the Sea Org members, for the most part, I'd say 95% of Sea Org members do not have access to the internet. They don't have phones. They don't have computers that are hooked up to the internet. They're on a Scientology internal network that doesn't go to the outside world unless they have special access. And in the case that they do have special access to the internet, it's filtered. And even if they search the word Scientology on Scientology's network, it will say access denied, and they will get no, it'll just be an error page will come up.
Yeah. In fact, remember, Catherine Olson told us that they even stopped allowing Sea Org members to even go to their own hate sites. They wouldn't even allow them to look at Scientology's hate sites. Yeah.
It's so bad that in the Sea Organization, Sea Org members are not allowed to own iPhones, because iPhones do not allow you to put the Scientology spy/filter software that Android phones do, so that they can see your history and you can't erase or control that. Scientology demands that any Sea Org member that has a phone has an Android phone, and they install a specific type of app on it so Scientology can be Big Brother for that phone and see what they're doing and there's no way for them to the individual to circumvent that. So that's for Sea Org members, the people that sign the billion-year contracts. For civilian Scientologists, just your people that are involved with Scientology and pay to do counseling or pay to do training on Scientology courses and stuff, if these people, if you're active in Scientology, it's common that you would regularly be interviewed or in a session where if you did something you shouldn't do, it would come up, and you would be you would have an impulse to tell them, so that whenever something's not going right in Scientology in your life, it's because you did something. And if you did something, you got to tell them what you did. So if a Scientologist went on the internet and looked at some stuff like SPTV, YouTube, or something like that, the next time they would go in for one of these interviewed, they would be compelled to tell them. And if they did tell them, it could cost them tens of thousands of dollars in further interviews to find out every single possible instance that they've done this in the last 25 years. And they have to pay for that. So it's very beneficial, if you're a Scientologist, to don't let those mystery sandwiches, don't let your appetite get too worked up. Don't have any hankering for any of these mystery sandwiches. Do you really want to know? That mystery sandwich is going to be the most expensive sandwich you done ate.
It's on a need to know basis.
Yeah. So it's sort of like this. There's like I want to say there's like a delineation when you are a Scientologist and you're willing to take that jump. You're already 95% out. If you're willing to go to what in Scientology they call it the dark side. If you go to the dark side, and that's the side of what are all these past members saying about Scientology and all the nonsense that's happening. Once you see the power, once you taste the power of the dark side, you're never going back. Okay.
And I must say, for a dark side, it's awfully light and bright and wonderful out here.
Yeah. Ironically, it's a lot lighter than the not dark side.
Yeah.
No. And also, there are no Jedis in Scientology. So the only people who have power are the ones on the dark side. I mean, I could clear a whole store of Scientologists in about 20 seconds. As soon as I walk in, they're scattered like roaches. Mm-hmm. That was a great question, Michael. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, to sum it up, if you're in the Sea Org and you look on the internet, it's filtered. And if you do in the Sea Org, they find out you were looking, you get in really, really big trouble. You could go to the RPF, the Rehabilitation Project Force, the labor camp or reprogramming camp. And if you're a public Scientologist, it's just going to be very expensive. And you do face the chance of being declared an SP if you do, depending on what you looked at and what you did on the internet.
Yeah.
Denver Stevo says, speaking of this community's love for Mike, join us on June 26th for a 10-hour chat-a-thon. Up all night for the love of Mike, immediately following Monday Night Live at Clearwater Chad's and Denver Stevo's places. These guys are amazing. Clearwater Chad did a aftermath fundraiser, one of these chat-a-thons, and he raised, I think it was like, in the end, it was like $2,000.
Yep.
I think he raised $2,000 for the Aftermath Foundation.
That's
and now they're doing a fundraiser for Mike. So a chat-a-thon
awesome.
for the love of
Denver Stevo invited us to jump on there for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. June 20. I'll be here for June 20.
Obviously not for 10 hours.
I'm not I might do a 10
can't do that.
I might do a 10-minute segment. I don't know that I'm going to do a 10 hours. That's a lot. Yeah, no, I've been logging in where I can when I see, somebody's live. I'll go in there and send them a super chat or something like that.
Yeah.
But thank you for that. We'll put a link to the description. Michelle Carpenter, hate that I'm late, but a love from the SPTV Discord. Yes.
Nice.
Oh yeah. And for people that are into Discord, I know that's kind of, I'm an old fuddy-duddy. I think it's a young thing, these Discord things.
I have like this aversion. I keep intending every time Michelle comments, I'm like, oh, that's right. I have an email. I better go click on the link. And then I forget.
Send me a thing to it too, if you can, and I'll go check it out. I'm not, I could spend, some of those things are like black holes, so I tend to stay away from them in case I might fall in.
Yeah, like I didn't do Twitter for like 8 years, and still now I don't really. I just go on there every once in a while to promote my next Where's Shelley video or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay, let's see. Question: have you seen the doc "Skinny Happy People"?
Shiny happy people.
Oh, shiny happy people, skinny happy people. They have a broken. That was a Freudian slip on my part because I'm a big fatso. Hey, have you seen the doc "Shiny Happy People"? They have broken child labor laws and are probably still are. So your work, Claire, will help children in other cults. Nice. Yes, I've heard about this. I haven't seen it
either, but it's on my list.
Yes, I've seen news about it. Jeff Waltz says merch idea. Signed box of crackers. Can I be the first? No, I'm not doing that. Sorry, Jeff. That would require me buying and selling crackers, which I am not going to do because I'll eat them. I'm going to eat them. I can't lick them, by the way. This cracker licking thing is so nonsense. I tried to lick these crackers. I could not do it. I had to eat them.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark and Claire. Love you guys. Anyway. Keep fighting the good fight. Yes, thank you,
Marilyn. We love you too.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, we have now in August, we will have been married 31 years, and I have never seen you lick a cracker with the exception of the footage you did for Kelly Copter for that trailer.
It was such a bizarre thing.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, shoot. I did another one. 509, right before okay. 509. JLD is me. Mike support vid due today at Denver Stevo. Mike support vid due today.
Yeah, so Denver Stevo asked for people to do like a short 30-second Mike and send it to me at denverstevo.com, I think.
Okay, well, you got to go to his channel to see. Thank you for that, JLD is me. Yeah. Juliana Bittencourt says, just so you remember who the other SPTV never ends is. Oh, okay. Thank you. There's a ton of people that watch these channels. I was telling you earlier, there's a ton of people that are in Scientology. They have a relative or they used to be in the Sea Org. Or I want to say 95% of these people that watch the channel have never had anything to do with Scientology. They just want to keep updated on what's going on. Here's another one. JLD is me. SPV channel list at DBNC on community page. Okay. I'm not sure what that means.
Dazed but not confused.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. There you go. I see. DBNC. Nice. Yep. Is that his new name now? I know his last one got deleted or something. I guess that's his new one. Dora Explorer, the list of SP teachers on Dazed but Not Confused community tab. Thank you, Dora. And then Melanie Johnson says, so glad you are exposing these awful things. Prayers for these vulnerable victims. Claire, you are the sweetest. Wish I'd been blessed with a sister like you. I wish I'd been blessed with a sister like Claire. My sisters don't hate videos about me on Scientology's website. Fat Cat's Heaven. Question, have Scientology computer systems ever been hacked? Yes, they have. That's a story for another day. And Jackson should do the video on that, about the whole income hacking thing and all the people that went down there. And I don't think anybody's ever done a video about that.
No, not in detail. And the guy, Tom Rommelhart.
Yes.
Who was under full-time 24/7 security watch for more than a year.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Jackson would be so good to do a video on that.
Yeah. I mean,
Jackson, if you're watching, do a video on that.
And anyway. Yeah, there's that's content that could take up could be 20 videos.
Yeah, it's a lot of crazy. Question, Mark, do you miss your motorcycle? Do you still ride? I do miss my motorcycle, but not that much because I bought the exact same motorcycle all over again, even at the same amount of miles, and it was the exact same color. The motorcycle that I had that I escaped on, I sold to Universal Studios for Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, and it was one of the Yakuza. I think that's the Japanese street gang. It was one of their motorcycles.
As was mine, by the way. Because remember, I had the same motorcycle, and we sold it to the same people.
That's right. We did?
Yep.
We sold them both bikes.
Yeah. Because we both had Yamaha TW200
I totally
motorcycles.
Forgot we sold your bike at the same time.
Yeah.
Huh. That's crazy. Yes, but when we got to Colorado, I missed it so much that I found the exact same year, color scheme, everything, and I bought it. So If you didn't know, I have the same exact bike that I had that I escaped on. And I do ride. I'm kind of like a weekend warrior. I'll ride I'll putt around. I don't go on the highway or anything. I just drive around town, maybe like on a Sunday or something like that with one of the boys. We hang out on it and go somewhere. I unclicked the Andy Fabulous one, if you can find that one. Sorry. It was the Andy Fabulous super chat.
Oh my gosh, honey.
I know. I don't know why.
What's going on?
I'm out of practice.
What was the time of it?
It was before 5 something. I don't know. It's just in the middle. No, just Andy Fabulous. Stacy, why does the church have a giant cross across their building? It's an insult to the cross. You both are awesome. Yeah, they have some big nonsense. Like the reason they have a cross is it's an 8-pointed cross because it represents each of the 8 dynamics, their urges towards survival. They made up some silly hoopla to make it a religious cross. But yes, Scientology is a cult masquerading as operating as a business, masquerading as a religion. I think Brian Seymour said that one time. It's very accurate. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Arnie Lopez, OT levels equals the ultimate mystery sandwich. It really does. In Scientology, that's the mystery. There's a mystery sandwich they don't want you to have, and then there's mystery sandwiches they want you to have. So they want to tell you all these amazing things that happen on these OT levels, but they never tell you what the OT levels are. In Scientology, OT stands for operating Thetan, and as you go up these different levels of operating Thetan, you're supposed to get like, okay, now I can control stuff with my mind. Now I can control other people. Now I can do this. Now I can move objects. Yeah, none of that stuff ever happens. And there ain't no Scientologist controlling objects with their mind. And if they are, they ain't in Scientology. They're in Dream World.
Yep.
Stacy Y says, hope the Yorkshire pudding recipe is on the new cooking show.
We'll get it done.
We will make that
recipe.
Yeah,
we're gonna send that to them. I can't
There
wait
you
to
go.
share.
Yeah. We could even do it here. We could do the recipe. No. We'll figure that out. But
Yeah.
we're that's on there. We've got some strings we can pull over it. SP Cooking Show, whatever it's going to be
Yep.
called. Stacy Y, thank you very much for that. I want to get some Yorkshire pudding right now. Quantum Guy, with all the abuse that DM inflicts on people, why has not anyone lost it and started wailing on him? Usually because he's got a bunch of big tough guys around him, and most of the people that he picks on are people that he knows are not going to hit him back, or he's pretty sure they're not going to hit him back. And if they do, then the thugs will step in. But I don't know, man. I'd really like to see what's happening. I'd love to be a fly on the wall recently, because I wouldn't doubt that somebody somewhere recently has been like, okay, enough's enough.
Right.
Somebody could have smacked that guy. Give him a good
Maybe
good
that's
old
why
slapper.
he doesn't hang out at the Gillen Hot Springs
Yeah,
headquarters anymore.
somebody might
Something
have
went down.
Somebody might have did a little smackety smack.
Yep.
Obi O'Brien says, we've missed you guys. Welcome back. Thank you.
Yay,
like I
thank
said,
you.
we haven't been anywhere. We're busy. We're trying to do what we're trying to do. The videos are kind of secondary.
By the way, I was going to say something 2 comments ago. It's Amy Lopez, not Arnie.
Arnie.
You said Arnie. It was Amy. It's
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
sorry, Amy.
Just letting you know.
Amy, Arnie.
I gotcha, Amy.
Beachy Terra says, does DM know about every SP declare? He's throwing out people left and right. He was so paranoid who blew. I do that to my child's Android. Yes. You know what? He really does know most people that are declared.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Well, yeah, because he's taken away anyone else's authority to do that.
It's really hard. It's actually hard to get declared a suppressive person without David Miscavige either knowing about it or being involved in the reason why you're getting declared. I don't think there's random people that are getting declared SPs that David Miscavige doesn't know something about them. So yeah, I'd say that he does know. And
Definitely
that's how
not of Sea Org members. Maybe at lower levels.
Yeah,
maybe.
Like a public person that went to the press or something. But I don't know. Even that is pretty rare. And the reason he can know about it is because there are not that many of them. We're talking about tens of thousands of people. So it's not that are in Scientology, and there could be, maybe 100 that get declared every year. Whatever 2.5% of 25,000 is. That's how many people are being.
Oh no, their algorithm is way out of whack now. With SPTV, they're believing in floods.
Yes. Hey guys, I would love to hear the SPTV crew speak Scientologies together. If you dream about the Sea Org, is it all abbreviations? No, I don't. I haven't dreamt about the Sea Org.
Ugh, I have.
I'll tell you something that's really crazy, guys. I used to have nightmares all the time about Scientology and being back there, and my kids were somehow locked up, and I would have nightmares all the time. Once I wrote my book, and the more we talk about it, I can't remember. I mean, it's at least been months since I've had a Scientology nightmare where I used to have them every single night.
Yeah, I had one 2 nights ago because of this recent stuff that's been going on. It was all related to that, and I was like, ugh. But yeah, when I was talking to Catherine Spolino the other night on our All Things Scientology with Amy Scobie, she's the author of The Bad Cadet. She was saying the same thing. She was like, she had nightmares, and then she wrote her book, and it really helped with that. So I was like, oh, Marc says that all the time. I got to hurry up and finish my book. Darn it.
It really does. It kind of just, just washes the nonsense away.
Yeah.
I hope TC watches these SP channels. I don't think he is. I think that's TC means Tom Cruise. I don't think he is, but yeah, hopefully he is. But I doubt that he is. Debbie Johnston, I finished your book this past week and I totally cried at the end, picturing you meeting Claire at the bus station. What an amazing story for your family and your children and future generations. Yeah, that is probably the best part of the book after I break out, a few weeks later, I break Claire out, and they try to intercept her, and they meet her in Vegas, and they
called you and told you I wasn't coming.
Yes, they called me and said they had her, and she was going back with them, and then they told her that they had gotten me back, and I was on my way back. So they told each of us the opposite story, so that either I would go back and then she would leave, or that she wouldn't leave and I would come back. It was, oh my goodness, you got to read it. blownforgood.com or blownforgoodstore.com. Marion, just want to thank you for going above and beyond to make this world a better place. A lot of YouTubers, even SPTV, are doing this for mainly monetary reasons. Again, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could make a living doing this. But this is sort of like a side thing that we do.
Yeah, plus we both like what we do in real life. So.
Yeah, I make way more money doing other stuff than to do this. And that's why that's why we don't do, 78 videos a week. But we are working on stuff that we can talk about, and we're not doing... we don't have anything to tell you guys, it's like, why should we do a video? Let's have some good stuff to talk about if we're going to talk about it.
Yep.
Seneca says, Denver Steve-O is putting together a video greeting card for Mike. Vids from all of us. Today is the last day to submit vids to Denver Steve-O. That's very nice. Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier. Yep. Lori plays, Claire knows every inch of Marc's cracker licking. She does. Yeah, that's in a relation to the CNN show that the Inchwives, the Scientology
Anderson
Inchwives
Cooper, History of Violence. Yeah.
There you go. Joni Cummings. Two of my favorite people. Question, how can one help the people who are coming out of Church of Scientology who has limited resources? You can go to the Aftermath Foundation. The Aftermath Foundation was created to help people that are either trying to escape Scientology or have just escaped Scientology, and they need to, because their friends and family and business associates and everything, we're all Scientology connected, they need to get new resources or be able to get a job. Some of the people that we've helped have never driven a car. They don't have a GED. They didn't go to school. They haven't lived in the real world. They don't know how a credit card works. They don't know how to use a cell phone. Or, these people are like Starman. Okay. If you ever saw the movie Starman with Jeff Bridges, these people have, in a lot of cases, particularly Sea Org members, these Sea Organization members that have signed 1 billion years. Some of these people have been in the Sea Org for the past 30 years since they were 15 years old. They've never lived in the real world. So it's like somebody coming out of prison after 50 years and they have to be reacclimated to society. That's what the Aftermath Foundation helps with. And if you go to the aftermathfoundation.org, you can sign up to be a volunteer, which is like, hey, we need a guy picked up from Philly at this corner in Philadelphia and brought to the airport so we can fly him to where his mom lives, or, whatever. To, hey, we've got a guy who needs some winter jackets. Anybody size 46 that's got a winter jacket they can donate. Just dumb stuff like that. You could be on that mailing list for the volunteers. Whenever we need something, we send an email blast out to, depending on what you've volunteered for, we send something out to those people to ask them for something.
Yep. It's pretty awesome. We have like thousands of volunteers at this point.
Yes. And you can also just donate. If you don't want to do any of that nonsense, you can just say, okay, here's $50 or here's $10 or here's $5. Linda S. at Blown for Good. Didn't see message show up in chat. Question: reporting dead elders, are they cashing Social Security, Medicare checks? Federal case would be looked into. Maybe their greed will get them. Yeah. Basically what they're doing is they're putting elderly people in, I'm not going to say facilities, but places. And then those places are getting that Social Security as payment for staying there. And in some way, money's going back to Scientology to pay down, like just paying interest on credit cards. And so if they get somebody $80,000 in credit cards that they know is being diagnosed with a terminal illness, so they're going to pass away in the next 6 months to 2 years, they put them in this place, they get all these credit cards, and then the disability is just keeping everything going. And then when that person passes away, the debt disappears. So if this wouldn't have happened on multiple occasions in different various scenarios, I wouldn't say that this is a prevalent thing, but we've been hearing about so much of it from so many different places and locations and people and sources. And it's been happening over, I want to say like a 10-year period where we've been hearing these things happening. It's almost the same story in every single instance. Yep. And it's usually for anywhere from $25,000 to $200,000 worth of money that they were able to get out of this elderly person.
Yeah.
Thank you, Linda. Not a sheeple. So glad to hear I got my mug, t-shirt, and hoodie. I hope my meager Canadian dollars will help Mike. He deserves many more healthy years. Yes, absolutely. Yes, thank you for everyone who sent in support for Mike. And hopefully this first stage will take care of it. And if there's a second stage or there are multiple stages, we'll let you know if we need to, fire back up the fundraising machine here.
Yep.
Oh, here it is. Does Mike need any more further? He is so loved. Love you both, and I am so happy to see you tonight. Thank you, Angelina.
Thank you.
Yes. Please let us know when, if Mike needs more funds. Yes, thank you. Love it.
Yes.
Been loving the channel. My local library has a copy for the diagnostic book by good old LRH. Right, the diagnostic book. Besides the book by Miss Miscavige's dad. That's so awesome. Yeah. That is another thing which they can't really stop, is we have so many ex-members that are writing books and documenting their time in Scientology. And that is really the thing that turned me to do this channel, was Patrick Bet-David that I did an interview with. He was talking about leaving behind a legacy and documenting your life and this kind of thing. And I thought, you know what? We should totally document this Scientology nonsense. And then no matter what happens, future generations and other people would see, we did everything we could. But despite what happens in the future, we tried.
Yep, we did.
Thank you for that, Haley. Stefani Hutchison. Hey, Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie.
I used to call her Stefani, like I call
like Cassie and Casey.
Cassie. Yeah. I will be hosting Mike Rinder's Thursday Funnies column on my blog just until he's back on his feet and can take back the reins. Well, thank you. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's so many people that...
Here, I'll make a note. I'm sure Goldie is posting the link, but we can put it in the video description for this as well.
Awesome. Okay. Did we do did we do another giveaway? Did we do a third giveaway?
We didn't yet. No.
Are we supposed to? Oh no, it's at the 2 hour mark. We'll do that.
Well, yeah, I think we finish up our comments and then we can do it at the show finale.
I like it. I'm gonna roll with that.
Sweet.
Here we go. Kitty and Lou. Question. How many people do you think stay in due to pride? I know my parents and 100% grandparents raised in the 50s and 60s would never publicly look a fool. Yeah, there's definitely a ton of folks that don't want anything to do with them and don't give them money, don't participate in anything, but they're never going to go out and publicly say we're not Scientologists, because they've dedicated the last 50 years to this nonsense. And
it's the psychological phenomenon of sunk cost trap. But I will say that even despite that, more and more people are willing to wake up, and every time we expose a new thing, some new person goes, wait a minute, that cannot be. A church can't be doing that. It's never too late to get out. Never, ever too late.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody who was a Scientologist the other day, and the thing that broke the kind of the barrier for them or made him cross over to the dark side was when they found out that a lot of things that Scientology had said that LRH created, he never created. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about it like, oh yeah, L. Ron Hubbard essentially crowdsourced Scientology. So they have this thing in Scientology called study technology, where you look up misunderstood words and you do demonstrations in clay, and there's like a thing called a skipped gradient, and it's the barriers to study. This is what the study technology is based on. Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard never thought this up. He didn't make this. A couple that was in Scientology figured this out, and then they wrote up the whole subject and they sent it to him. He declared them suppressives for squirreling Scientology policies, and then codified what they had written into the study technology, and he wrote it as he was the author of it. And that's the same thing. Like you'll find if you start looking into this, Ron Miscavige did this when he left. Ron Miscavige knew that his son was a piece of work and was not doing what he thought L. Ron Hubbard would do. But he believed that L. Ron Hubbard was genuine and his work was of value. And I said, it's bullshit. And he said, well, I'm going to find out what he created and what he didn't create. And he proceeded to identify all these key parts of Scientology that Hubbard just stole from some other thing, including Scientology itself. It's like some German book written in like 1904 or something. Yeah. Anyway, but this thing was this person, that this individual Scientologist, that's the thing that flipped her to the other side, was like, wait a minute, the L's, which is like this auditing you do in Florida, which is really a popular Scientology service. Yeah. Was written by this guy that was declared a suppressive person called, what was that guy? The big SP guy? David
Mayo.
David Mayo is the one who wrote the auditing levels, the L's in Scientology. They still do them to this day. L. Ron Hubbard had nothing. This guy did these on L. Ron Hubbard, and then L. Ron Hubbard said, these are great. I want you to write these up and we'll do these as a Scientology service. To this day, the documents that show you how to do these levels are written by David Mayo. They are not written by L. Ron Hubbard. So there's all sorts of things in Scientology that L. Ron Hubbard just stole from other people. And when Scientologists find that out, they're like, well, wait a minute. Like they're messing with people, they're abusing things. And this L. Ron Hubbard guy didn't even come up with any of this stuff. He just made it up and then stole a bunch of stuff. And you're like, what?
Yeah, which the book Barefaced Messiah by Russell Miller is amazing. To me, anyone who's ever been a Scientologist or whoever wants to know anything about L. Ron Hubbard's actual life should read that book.
Yeah, not the Scientology version.
No.
Oh, here we go. Here's the Andy Fabulous one that got deleted. Claire still does KRs on Marc. Tough habit to break. Yes. See what I'm saying? Isn't it weird that was the comment that got deleted? Maybe I
know
didn't.
when I found out, I was like, oh, brilliant. Here
Maybe
we go.
I didn't delete the comment. I just saw that it got deleted. Now we know the truth. Holy
For the record,
moly.
I do not write KRs on Marc.
Neither one of us do. To tell you the truth, I didn't really write a lot when I was there.
Oh, stop it. Oh, my gosh. Insert eye roll.
Oh, I think we already read this one, or maybe it's another one. Joni Cummings, you two are my favorite people. Thanks for all you do. Send love, both of you, and to Mike and Christy. Thank you.
Thank you, Joni.
Kim Lost, my friend was declared less than 2 weeks ago. Kim Lost, my friend was declared less than 2 weeks ago. She wasn't informed, but her family and all but one friend unfriended her on Facebook. I thought that they weren't doing that currently. Any info?
Yep. So, Kim, maybe email us.
Yeah.
They are doing that currently. What they're not doing is giving the person a written piece of paper that says that they're declared a suppressive person, which is ironic because even that is a violation of Hubbard policy because, quote, if it isn't written, it isn't true.
Well, to be fair, they're showing the people and then they're not letting them have a copy of it. And they're not letting them bring a phone.
Maybe they're not even showing it to them anymore.
Or reading it.
Who knows? But either way, Kim, if we can do anything to help, let us know.
Yeah. Destiny Salazar says at some point DM will be in a cult of one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's not too far from the truth.
No.
Walter Zikanowski. Question: can you talk about how Scientology is working to save the world? Do they really do a lot of charitable work? No, they don't. The little charitable work they do is usually photo ops. Like,
yeah,
they have a lot of pictures of them at Ground Zero handing out water bottles, and then the other things they do is at disaster sites, they do disaster relief, which is them giving people like weird back rubs, which they call nerve assists and touch assists.
Yeah.
And they're really like just funky, like I'd say like very light back rubs at best. Yeah. Like,
and it's funny, we were talking about this the other night. It's so ironic to me that the time that we volunteer for the Aftermath Foundation, we do more to actually help people, actual Scientologists, than we ever did when we were in Scientology.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy.
Yeah. And people, you know, when you say you're helping somebody, you know, it's one thing to, you know, sometimes people just need somebody to say, I'm here for you. That's it. That's all they need. They just need the support to say, listen, you know what? If you need anything, I'm here and I'll give you whatever you need. That's not something that happens in Scientology. No. So even if you have a family member that's in Scientology and you don't know if they want to leave or if they want to stay, even if you just say, listen, you know, if you ever need anything, I'm here for you. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm here for you. That goes a long way. That's just, that goes a long way just in life. Yeah. But in Scientology, that's very, very rare to be that way. If somebody does something against the ways of Scientology, if you do something that's not in Scientology's best favor, you're dead to them. Like, that's it. It's over. And so if there is somebody in the outside world that said, hey, if you need anything, I'm here for you, it's very likely that if they're in a bind, they're going to come and talk to you. And that's just good advice for anybody. If you know somebody in your life and you haven't talked to them in a while and you care about them, just let them know that you're there for them. Yep. And that, you know, you don't know how that could affect them and their whatever struggles, personal struggles they're going for.
Yeah, like you said earlier, the one thing you can't do is take back time.
Casey!
Cassie! It's Cassie!
Casey, since I was summoned, love you guys.
Oh my gosh, you're the best, Cassie. Cassie.
Casey 429. 2 Caseys in a row. Pronounce my name, LOL. Cassie, thank you, Cassie. Thank you, Cassie 429.
Say my name.
I should if whenever this one, I should always call her Casey 429 or Cassie 429.
Yes, there you go. Cassie. Oh my gosh.
Richard Deneen. Oh, that's funny. Thank you,
Thank
Richard
you.
Deneen.
We appreciate it.
I think that's a code. I know what that is. Maria de Jesus Gutierrez. 8774R seniors equals LA County Elder Abuse Hotline. Yes,
Good
that's
to
true.
know. Yep.
Maria did a whole bunch of footage for that video when we asked people.
Yes,
she
Maria,
sent in
you
so
are an
much
artist.
footage.
And some of the pictures you sent in are just stellar.
Amazing. Thank you for that, Maria.
And anyway, okay. We need to add that form to the Dropbox so we can
Okay.
Cool.
Carla Zabetti. Could you ask Brian Seymour to post the 10-part Scientology special he did? Got pulled by Australian TV channels, scared of legal threats on your YouTube. You know, it was posted somewhere, and I don't know if it's still up somewhere. Can you look into that, Claire?
Yep.
Shout out to Brian Seymour, one of the most successful journalists to ever report on Scientology. Well, he's the most famous he's the best in Australia. That him and Steve Cannon maybe. Different in different ways were, both on the podium, but very good. Thank you for that, guy. Carly.
Yep.
Nikki's mom says, who is Goldie? Keep hearing the name. Keep up the good fight. Awesome, from Brooklyn, New York. Goldie is our moderator that keeps all of this chat and all the comments and everything properly moderated.
She makes the magic happen. There you go. Goldie makes the magic happen.
Yeah, and she's the moderator for several SPTV channels, which I'm not sure exactly how that works. I still think she's not a person. She's a robot or something.
Stop it.
No,
you
Claire
don't.
says she's
I've talked to her. She's a real amazing person.
I have the com domain starting with the SPTV directory, but Super Chat won't let me post it as an address. Have been waiting for SPTV approved list to post. Okay, awesome. Well,
I think I have an email. I said, I'll work on catching up on my email this weekend.
So many things going on. Thank you for that, Maria. Hot Crossed Scones, thank you for the Super Chat.
Oh, nice.
Thomas Walls, thank you for the Super Chat. He says, from Sweden, love your channel. Thank you, Tomas.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Sorry I said your name wrong at first. As soon as I saw Sweden, I was like, oh, that's not Thomas, that's Tomas. Thank you, Tomas. And with that, we're going to do our last giveaway. That is all of the questions that we had started, and there was a bunch of non-super chats in there. And now we're going to give away the last one. Did you do the last one?
I did the last one, so you can do the finale.
Okay, good. If you are in the chat and you would like a gift, a merchandise item of your very own, for no cost at all, we will give you one. People donate. They go on the Blown for Good store, link in the description, and they just donate and they say, this is for a giveaway. And we just keep track of those. And then next time we do a live, we do the giveaways. It's usually 2 or 3, a couple handful a week. And we make sure we give them away. So if you would like one of those things, bobblehead, merch, a book.
SP bracelet.
Oh, we're giving away SP bracelets too?
Sure.
Wow, you could get one of these. You know, I revealed today on Aaron's chat that him and I were both SP level 15. But you can just be SP level 1. SP level 1's getting one of these bracelets. It says SP.
Are you doing the bridge to total suppression?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing the bridge to total suppression. And just so you know, those guys, the Scientologists, they have a bracelet too. When they go clear, they get a bracelet that has a Scientology logo on it, and it has a number on the back that says which number clear they're up to.
One time somebody made me give them what SP number they were.
Yes,
so they could engrave their bracelet.
Yeah. Anyway, so we, the SPs, we have bracelets too. So there's Scientology. And boo boo, we're better than you. Stick your head in doo doo. And this bracelet you can get on the SP store. I mean, if you're going to be an SP, you might as well shop. It's called the SP shop, but the spshop.com, and you can get them there. And we'll put a link in the description if you want to get one of those. But meanwhile, we're doing a giveaway. I almost got carried away. Well, it's still going. Holy moly, my computer is I got to catch up here. I'm going to do a countdown for this one. I'm going to do a 5 4 3 2, and then I will follow that up with a 1, and then clickety click on Carmen Noseworthy.
Okay.
Gift, please.
All right.
She done got it.
Okay, Carmen, shoot us an email and let us know which gift you were looking for.
Yeah, I saw that thumbnail on a comment we read, I thought.
Oh.
So maybe that person got double lucky there with a comment, or maybe they did a super chat or something. Anyway, thank you for that.
Yeah, and
Carmen.
if you want to do 2 last comments, there were 2 that came in.
Oh, sorry, we've missed some.
Yeah.
Rural SD Lawyer says, took a quick tour of the St. Paul org while in the area for some training. Empty, dark, creepy. One of the videos the guy wanted to show up was broken. Wanted to stay longer, but it was too weird. Oh my goodness.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I designed those displays. I'm not sure how they ended up building them and executing my design, but it sounds like it's a show of the poo. Thank you, Rural SD Lawyer. We appreciate it.
And thanks for being here.
Oh, and then Ann Hummingbird did a super chat for book. Ann Hummingbird, normally I wouldn't do this. I'd just take your super chat and run with the money. But get Claire an email and we'll send you a book.
Thank
you
go.
for that.
Yep.
I'm feeling a philanthropist.
And don't forget, every time we hit our next 1,000 subscribers, we do a book giveaway. We haven't been mentioning that lately.
That's right.
And when we hit 34,000 last week, I sent someone an email and I said, "Hey, you win a book," and they were like, "Wait, what?
Yeah.
Is this a mistake?" I'm like, "No, it's not a mistake. I have a spreadsheet that covers that too.
Yeah.
That documents every book we've given away."
Yeah, when we click over every 1,000, we click over every 1,000 subscribers. So we're at 34,264. When we ticked over from 33,999 over to 34,000, Claire just goes through the comments, and if somebody said they wanted a book, she just randomly picks one of those people and says, "You get a book."
Or even if they didn't say they want a book, because we haven't been mentioning it, so people haven't been doing it. I'm like, "Hey, you win a book."
Yes. So anyway, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. If you, again, we haven't really been doing any of our brand things, or you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if I have titles for them anymore. That's how long we haven't done it. Banners, here it is. Let's just do this.
We're getting rusty.
We haven't done this in so long, I forgot how to do it. So if you do want to get a book, a Blown for Good book. I wrote a book about being in Scientology and working at the international headquarters for 15 years. And it's called Blown for Good, Behind the Iron Curtain of Scientology. You can get it at blownforgood.com, or you can go to the link in the description for the Blown for Good store. Bobbleheads. We have a Mike Rinder bobblehead and SP bracelets that can be gotten at the spshop.com.
And proceeds from the spshop.com go to the Aftermath Foundation to help people escape Scientology.
That's right. And if you don't want to go through the hassle of getting a Mike Rinder bobblehead or an SP bracelet to support the Aftermath Foundation, you can just go directly to the Aftermath Foundation website, which is theaftermathfoundation.org. And you can click on the donate button, or you can become a volunteer, or you can get some of these little SP Aftermath cards that we have, and you can leave those out near a Scientology organization in case one of their members sees one. They know that there's somebody out there. And yeah, look, this is how long ago I used this. It says, don't forget to subscribe, trying to get to 29,000. So yeah, only 5,000 subscribers ago. Yeah, so don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 35,000.
35,000. That's a really awesome marker. So thank you to everyone supporting, and thank you to the nearly 2,000 people who are with us now. If you haven't subscribed, please don't forget to do so and hit the bell notification so you will be notified of new content.
Awesome. On that note, until next time, guys, Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching to the very end.